Hey guys out there, this today is going to be my comparison video on pricing for one rifle versus another. Both are accurate, both are dead on, both are great. I'm just saying that if you can't afford rifle A, don't give up on rifle B. It still hits all the check boxes. A lot of shots. The regulated keeps everything close together. It's in your price range. It short, compact, still does everything you want. If you want a suppressor, unscrew the muzzle brake and drop on your Donnie. It has all the same bells and whistles. It's just not semi-auto. It's still, manual. So I'm going to run some numbers through this. So just you got some comparisons. We've shot this before and we've done videos on this before, but now since other expensive rifles are coming out, I just wanted you to have A versus B, and don't feel sad if you can't purchase A, because B is still going to do what you want when it comes to killing coyotes. This is not a deer rifle, okay? Talking to you down in Texas, it's not a deer rifle. You're only looking at 140 foot-pounds. You got like a 215 minimum. So don't ask me what deer bullet you got for your Challenger 30 or 357 Pro, because I'm going to tell you, you bought the wrong rifle for deer. Coyote. C-O-Y-T-E. Go to Acme, look at Bugs Bunny, and see what the Acme Coyote has. That's it. Let's do some shooting. So, I got 3,900 PSI in my two tanks. So this goes to 4,500. So I'm going to stroke this. Watch it now. And I'm watching the gauge so we get up to 4,500. What's happening is the air is in this little tube down here. Okay. When I stroke it, the piston will squeeze this air forwards up into this line, into the air reservoir of the rifle. And a one-way check valve won't let the air come backwards. That's how these work. The air can only go in one direction, and you're squeezing what's in there. So it's not equal to equal. It's whatever's in there is getting squeezed up in. That's why at 2,000 PSI in your tanks, you can still boost it and get your rifle up to 4,500. It'll just take a whole bunch of times because that's a very small reservoir. As the piston goes forwards, it's going forwards. And then now this area is filled with air. When I let go, the air pressure is pushing the piston back, and the X in that air is escaping. To a certain degree, it's a bit on the wasteful side, but it gets you to where you want to be. Okay. And then, I've told you before about how the rubber O-rings work. So now I'll tighten this down, and I don't have to bleed the line because I'm not disconnecting. The only headache with the Pro being right here is if you're going to bench shoot like I'm doing, you got to extend this forwards, then you got to hunch over it like an orangutan from the Jungle Book, because this bangs into there. See, if I close it and I shorten it, I don't want it, I'm not hitting. So all the way back, and it locks up. So, that's what I have to do with that. Give or take. So this, we got our 4,500 in. We're leaving the power dial set at full, it's in the middle. And I'm going to do some 99s and some 119s via the single shot tray, and just double check our numbers from when we were testing this a couple of years ago. Coyote seasons, a lot of guys are like, hey, fawns are dropping, can we how are these working on coyotes? So we're revisiting the 357 Pro, which is regulated, but it's internally regulated. It doesn't have the external screw, so as it's set is as it's set. I'm not going to play with it. All right, so I will say, pulling back the charge handle or cocking handle on get in there on these lightweight regulated rifles, it's like grabbing a toy compared to the Zeus. I mean, it's just like one finger basically. This, of course, is the boring part. It doesn't help that my little foam tray is undersized and keeps sliding out of the way. Okay, 20 shots. 10, 20. There's 20 shots, gentlemen. I mean, you know, you got a couple of high flyers here and here. Out of 20 shots, that's damn near ragged hole in hole. That's not bad at all. We'll get out and do some long distance testing again. We'll see how she likes it in the wind. Gents, one of the reasons I'm, repeating this video is I know a lot of you guys are budget oriented and you can't, the high priced coyote rifles, as I refer to them as, like the Rattler 357 and 30 is a bit, there's about 3-4 mortgage payments there. This Pro is one mortgage payment, and we just did 20 shots, all within the 800, starting at 815 high, ending with 805 low on shot number 20. So your average is 807 feet a second, and this is at the mid setting. I didn't mess with it. It's right there where the red is the red. 107 feet, 807 feet a second average for 20 shots. 143 foot-pounds of energy with the 99 grain. That's not shabby. That's not shabby at all. So, granted, anything in the 800 feet a second range, when you get out to 100 yards, is going to have more of a, rainbow effect. You got to remember that most air rifles are between 750 and 850 feet a second. So, the further you go, the higher you got to raise the front. Just keep that in mind. So now we'll try a heavier bullet. Okay, so now we're going to the old ballpoint pen. The 119 grain. That's the little boat tail bugger. Open this back up. And make sure you always, before you stick your probe in, gentlemen, you never want to stick in a dry probe. You always want your probe lubricated. Okay? Lubricate your O-rings so that way it's not dry, it's not tight, and it's not frictioning as you put the probe up in there. You're not getting that friction on the O-rings where you're going to wear out, rip, or tear your rubber. You don't want to, because if you tear the O-rings, air is going to leak. Okay? Always want your prophylactic to hold tight. So, with that being said, got 3,800 PSI in there, so we're going to pull the lever down on the booster pump for one push. and it bottoms out automatically and stops. So the air's in there. Let it back off. The piston's coming back. 4,200 psi. One full stroke. We're at 4,500. Close. The Velcro was coming off. Close the valve, the open and close valve. So now it's just as if you bled it and disconnected it. I've closed the valve. Okay. So now we're going to do the 119s. Come on along to Bobby's Playhouse. Come on along to Bobby's Playhouse. Now, I can bleed the line and remove my hose and my adapter. 20 shots. There's the 119. That's even tighter than the 99. I like this setup. All right, so 20 shots, again, this time with the 119. All the shots are up and down a few feet a second from 738, 739, 733, 729s. The last shot, 2 shots were 703 and 691 because they were dropping off. So 20 shots, 18 solid. The last 2 are, are there, but they're slower. So average speed is 730 per shot. Average foot-pounds is 140. So it's 3 foot-pounds less than the 99, but it is a slightly bigger bullet. It's going to have a little more penetration because of the weight when it gets there. But they are so close together. If you're a magazine shooter, the 99, if you don't mind going single shot tray with something decent, not just a piece of loose crap that I put in there, the 119s are going to perform very well too. Both are extremely accurate. So let's wrap it up. All right, guys. So here's the tips of the day with this, these rifles and the setups, things like that. So number 1, because the fill probe hole is down here at the bottom, okay? Your hole is in your bottom. Always grease your probe O-rings, okay? You always want to be lubricated. It really saves wear and tear on, even though you get several O-rings in the plastic bag, it does save wear and tear, okay? So always keep your stuff. I mean, this has lasted me since, I've got 2 of these, and this is almost 99% full, and I bought this like in 2005 when it was still using the Hill hand pump, okay? So that's going back some time, guys. Always keep your stuff lubricated, and because this is down here at the bottom, I like this extended female quick disconnect. Now, if you saw in my bushbuck video, you actually get one of these, which is nice. So check Terry's website and or somebody else. I'm sure other vendors carry these, but always check with Terry first. It's got the male threaded end on it, so all you got to do is get a male adapter. So it'd be male adapter, female thread. So it would screw over the male threads of the quick connect. Anyways, it's good to have because this way you've got some room to grab it. And you did see that, like I said, I had to move the extended stock back while I'm using the lead sled because that probe hole is right there and it would bang the front. Now I know Terry has that gripper with the 3 legs on the table when you see him shoot. I may have to look at getting one of those here in the future. Again, those weren't invented when I started doing this. That's why I went with a lead sled. I need to keep the rifle dead still because I'm trying to find out for you and me if I'm getting a crappy grouping it down at the road. Is it because the bullet doesn't like, or the rifle doesn't like that particular bullet with the twist rate, lands and grooves, or is the bullet itself bad? So I'm trying to find, you know, what's best to offer you. So, you know, I do all the homework. Again, this scope Terry had sent me. This is the UTG 3x14x44. And as I discovered on the previous video, it comes with a nice set of rings, which is very nice. You don't have to fart around. It's got an extra screw in case you drop one. It's got the Allen wrenches, the sun cover or shade, whatever you want to call it, the dust caps on the front and the back, and a nice lens cleaning rag. So very sweet setup. I was using a piece of crap single shot tray I made from some spongy foam. I should have spent a few minutes and made a better one, or dug out one that my friend Ian sent me from Big Bore Airgun, but I was just too lazy and didn't want to go look for it. What can I say? But the whole point of doing this video again is budget cost. You can't afford a rifle that's in this price range and you're looking for a good quality repeating Coyote rifle in the range you can afford. This 357 Pro falls right in there. Again, leaving it right in the middle as it comes from the factory for the setup. 4,500 PSI fill. This is a regulator right here, but you can't access it to adjust it unless you drain the air, unscrew your tank, and go on the inside, which I'm too lazy to deal with. So for me, out of the box is the way I like it. So 20 shots each. 99 grain, which does fit the magazine, but I didn't want to get the magazine because I hate magazines. So I still use my crappy single shot tray. That's why, as you see in the speeded up video, I'm constantly doing this. You know, I'm doing this, but I'm not doing none of this. Okay, just so you know. 20 shots. Again, as I said previous, with the 99 grain, we started at 815, we ended at 805. Your average being 807 feet a second as the average. 143 foot-pounds is the average. On the 119s, I started at 738 and bounced up and down between 738 and 723. Up, down, up, down, up, down, all the way down to the last shot 18 was 723. Then I was a 703 and 691. So I was, you know, really at the bottom there on that bigger bullet. Bigger bullets suck more air. The reason being, a little more resistance. Valve is open a little bit longer, uses a little bit more air per shot. You know, that's why you generally get less shots on bigger bullets. Even though the speed is less, it's using a little bit more per shot as we go through. So, average 730 feet a second, 140 foot-pounds average, okay? It's actually a little less than the 99 grain. So the 99 is a flatter shooting, but the 119 is going to have a little more punch because it's a little bit heavier. So it's going to be up to you to figure out which one you want. Of course, 99 fits the magazine, so if you're a jerk and clicker, you're going to want the 99. If you're single shot like me, you're going to putz with a single shot tray, 119. Now we can squeeze more out of this. If I adjust this regulator, or not regulator, excuse me, the power dial, we can tweak more out of it. But for this video, I just wanted to do a comparison more or less on price. Okay, so much more in the price range. Of course, I do have a barrel bend over barrel band from David, a Black Arts Design, which is always a must for me on any air rifle in general, especially AEAs. You know, as I said, AEAs always have a tendency to, after a bunch of shots, vibrate a little bit, be a little loose, point of aim and everything's changing. Barrel band helps lock everything down, helps tame that vibration. Also, it helps tame that barrel whip, flip, bounce, whatever you want to call it. So, that is it. Excellent scope combo. Of course, all this you can get at Fox Air Power from Terry Fox. But that was it. A lubricant is always a must. Extended fill connector really is helpful. Now, I got mine as a independent. So I got my regular quick connect on the end of my setup. And then I've got this extended quick connect with the male on there. So depending upon if I'm using, you know, a Texan or something that's got the nipples sticking right out, I can access it. Or if you've got like the Zeus where it's a little further up in there, you know, where you're up in the wood, the extended quick connect helps out. Again, $20, $25, it's a worthwhile investment to keep in your tackle box of tools, parts, and whatnot. So, that is it, gentlemen. As always, any questions about purchasing, pricing, pieces, parts, whatever, contact Terry Fox at Fox Air Power. Anything about bullets, you can contact me or Terry, because Terry is a full vendor. But, again, Western Rattler, 2800, Pro Challenger Pro, I don't know what the current price is. 8, 9, and it's at least, you know, it's less. All right. So 20 shots, you know, you're, especially springtime and you want coyotes, you got a lot of shots with this before you got to fill back up. Just as always, know where your bullet hits at the different yardages. Don't rely on your computerized scope with your BC program. Get yourself a piece of cardboard the size of a door and go out there at 50 and throw 5 into it. Then go out at 75, throw 5 into it, and just look to your scope. And if the bullets are dropping 2 inches or 3 inches, it'll make a difference. Look to the scope and see which mil dot is lining up with the holes in the cardboard. Don't guess. Same thing at 100, 125. If you get a sheet of cardboard the size of a door and it's dropping, you're still always going to be able to run up there and pay attention and see what it, you know, see where the bullets are hitting. Okay, you know, none of this pie plate stapled to a stick. You know, while you're wasting time, energy, and air, I don't understand. So, gentlemen, thank you for watching, and get quick video, and we'll do some other quick videos later on.